All right, welcome everybody. I'm going to open up today's video with Farmall 51's YouTube channel. He does a fabulous job and does a just wonderful job on these little tractors, and I've learned an enormous amount of information from him. Great folks. Anyway, if you slide down here, today's video is because of this video right here. Differences between a Super A1 and a Super AI. You can see it right here. Farmall 51 interviewed Al Jones, and man, he did a great job talking a little bit about these tractors and where you can find them and all kinds of cool stuff there. And I think he's got two of them, and really super neat. But I thought, man, it'd be kind of neat if we could have all three tractors kind of sitting there side by side, a plain Super A, a Super A1, and a Super AI, so you can kind of look at them side by side. So that's what we're going to do on today's video. Plus, I picked up a couple more little differences in gleaning through stuff, and just some interesting bits. Hopefully it's helpful to you. And again, just really love that video. And also I'm going to flip right over here, and I'll put a description to that video a link to that description below. That way, if you'd like to go check it out, man, it's got a lot of neat stuff. You'll notice the grill in that, the step in it is just like the one out here. Now this tractor is one that I'd say is pretty rare. It is a Super AI1 or Super A1. A1I. I'm not real sure which order you'd say that, but it has the tall grill, of course, the space between the fuel tank and the hydraulic touch control unit, and the industrial parts as well. So, of course, it's also above serial number 356001. This must be the 71st one made. But at any rate, pretty cool tractor right there. And again, I don't know of any others, and kind of neat. So this was off the Purple Wave auction several years back, but I like these little old tractors. Kind of neat. And again, just doing this video to help add to a little bit more of what they had in the other video, and be able to show them all to you side by side. So hopefully it's helpful to you, and I'll be quiet and we'll slide outside and look at these guys. Hello everybody, Pat here again. I've got a couple interesting things here to show you. Farmall 51 has a little clip on there of one of his friends going over the Super A1 and Super A differences, and even the AI, how to tell the AI from a Super A1. And really great video, and I really enjoyed it. But I wanted to point out a couple more things there that I bumped into, and by all means, if someone else has some other things to point out, please thumb down in the comments below so we can get our notes. I've been kind of going through and making some notes here of things that I've bumped into and run across difference, but I was able to compile three here, one of each. So right here is a plain Super A, and next we have a Super A1, and here is a Super AI. So I'm going to talk a little bit about some of these differences real quick. And of course, this is a 48 model Super A. Then of course, Super A1 can only be 54, and then we have a 53 model Super AI. And it's set up with cultivators right now. We used it to work potatoes with here, I don't know, several years ago. But it was originally set up with a highway mower, so it has restrictors in this hydraulic control unit and the touch control unit. And I switched out these fellas here too so that I could run cultivators, but it runs different arms on here, and you can see how this one's kind of made a little different than what you'd normally see like on this Super A1 and Super A, as far as the rock shaft ends on the touch control unit. So this side's different as well on that. So anyway, this has another set on it. Now, right off the bat, I guess we should probably start down here with a Super A. It is 47 to 54 and 113 engine, no water pump, all that good stuff. And I guess the first thing to look at is hood height. So that's kind of the first thing I always look for in Super A versus Super A1, and you can see this distance right here is only about a finger wide. Now when we slide over here to the Super A1, you can see it's much taller, and the reason for that is it has a bigger radiator because it has the 123. Of course, it also got a water pump at that time, and it made it a little bit I guess for better cooling things. And again, it was a transition tractor to the 100. So it has, from what I've gathered, a Super or plain, I'm not sure, C hood on it. Now this one has a 100 hood. It was damaged, and I guess they just put this one over on it. But I'll show you in a moment. I've got a C hood over here in the floor with a heavily enlarged exhaust pipe hole, but you'll see here in a minute it's the same length. These hoods are just a little bit longer than a plain Super A hood as well. So, or even a Super AI. All right, so here is a quick clip of a Farmall C hood back on it, since that other one was, number one, a wrong hood, and number two, bent all to pieces. Now this hood's not perfect. Now you can get a Super AI1 or a Super A1i. I have seen a picture of one on the internet, and a pretty interesting tractor. So so those did exist, and as far as I can tell, it's a legitimate machine. And but anyway, so back to the difference here. We have this grill height difference. The hood's a little bit longer, and there's a gap difference between the hydraulic control or touch control unit and the fuel tank. So you can see I can get my whole hand flopping around in here. Over here, there's just not that kind of room. So we've got a little bit of difference there. Again, this whole thing's taller for that bigger radiator. Now here's a Super AI. Again, it is still short like the other Super A. No water pump on this tractor, and 113 engine. Now, another thing that is interesting about Super AIs, I'll talk about that for just a minute. He mentioned the diamond axle, and that's exactly right. It also has a support brace, and again, I'm trying to bring this on here so you can see these things. He kind of talked about them, but it wasn't in the video, so if you're not familiar with it, it might be hard to see that. But this will let you see it in person. And so here is the support brace that bolts up to the back of the block. Foot throttle right here. Now I've got an industrial 140 that does not have a foot throttle in it. It also has a rock shaft delete. It's got some other things missing there too, but you can see how this foot throttle operates through this little bell crank and goes up to the governor, along with our throttle rod here. That's it's all yeah, right here. Here we go. So it works. I'm sorry, I was on the back side of this. So you can see how it just bumps against it. So it does have hand throttle and foot throttle all together. Now, so it has that, as well as an I in the serial number. So you'll see it a prefix to the serial number, right? FAA and then I. Fourth thing that you'll notice on an international on a Super A that is an industrial, say international, and you can see the word international instead of Farmall. Now later in the 140s, there was a year that they went from saying Farmall to all of them say international, but during the Super A years, if it says international, it's, that's because of industrial. So we have four big things, and again, if there's something else someone sees that I've missed, please let me know. So you're looking for the diamond axle with the support, foot throttle, the I in the serial number plate, and the international written on the side of the hood versus Farmall. So those are kind of our things for an industrial tractor. Now back to the A1, we've got a handful more things. You'll notice real quick the steering wheel size too. Now that wasn't mentioned on the other one as well. It has a 17-inch steering wheel versus a 15-inch steering wheel. So if you look at the size of this one, you can see where it is. Now again, I apologize for the location of this wheel. We just went and got this tractor, and it was in a barn collapse. So it's got a lot of messed up stuff on it, and one of them's that steering pedestal. So, but this is a larger diameter steering wheel as well. So it has, so again, back to the Super A1 uniqueness, we have a grill that's taller, 123 engine with water pump, which gives a taller radiator that, again, most of these from what we gather is out of Super C. This center section is Super C, but this grill is not entirely that case. It has a step in it right here, and you can see several ones in his video on the Farmall 51 video. It showed this same step in it, and a Super C is kind of tapered, or a plain C is tapered right here. So is a B Farmall. They have a weird taper in them. So that's something you want to look for, is that weird step. And again, this does not have the right hood on it. But so we've got our grill difference, our height difference here, steering wheel size difference, 123 engine with a water pump and tall radiator. So those are our things, plus the serial number 356001 and up. and it'll also have a 1 in it. Now this is a very, very late one, and and again, it's got some pieces that, you know, again, don't belong. And but this one, from what I gathered, I've looked at some posts, and again, not 100% sure on this, but there's rumors to believe that they moved these later Super A1s tag out to the bell housing like the 100s, and this one got sandblasted at some point in its life, so it's illegible. But you can see the 1 stamp here, because the I and the J on the industrial, you can see, is a lot heavier stamp than the actual serial numbers themselves, along with the 140 or 1540 for PTO, or not PTO, sorry, but engine speed. So there's a really hard stamp here, a really hard stamp here for the J. The serial number is a very light stamp. So when it got sandblasted, all that information was lost. But it does have a hard stamp here and a hard J there for the Super A1. Now again, that's I wish I could say more, but that's what I know. So the other big thing too is, on a Super A1, is it has to be a 54. So that's going to leave us with Z code on our casting codes. Right here is a 415Z, and we have some later ones back here. Z, there's some right there. Under the transmission housing, right here you can see one. Z code right here. I guess the wheels were just, they're the wheel centers, they just had a bunch of them from earlier in the year. But at any rate, so Z does put it in 54. 55 is A. It kind of reset all the letters. So anyway, those are some of the things that I've bumped into that I found different, that I thought I'd kind of add along to it. I kind of made a quick little list here. So Super A, again, it kind of comes with 15-inch wheel, round front axle, no foot throttle, regular grille, has Farmall on the hood. This is a later decal that's not exactly correct for this one. And then Super AI, it'll have International on the hood, foot throttle, diamond front axle with support rod, eye on the tag, and it'll have a 15-inch wheel, of course, unless it's a Super AI1, which again, we'd have seen one of those in pictures. Now, Super A1 was 54 only, starting with serial number 356001 and up, and has a 1 after the FAA, Z casting code, 17-inch steering wheel, gap under the fuel tank, tall grille, again with Super C center, longer hood from Super C, and I had a question mark on that because I wanted to verify that before I mentioned it, but it does appear to be correct. Then a water pump because of because it has a 123 engine, and of course these up here are 113s. So there's kind of just some quick stuff. Again, Super A's and Super AIs are from 47 to 54, and Super A1's 54 only. So I hope that is helpful to you, and I might show a clip here in a minute of the hood size. You know, let me just do that real quick. I've got a hood here. I'm gonna grab it and I'll pop it up here for you real quick. I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. We've got a 48 grill here, and you can see if we line up the top of it and scroll down to the bottom, the difference in height of that center section where all the rows are. So again, decent little difference there. And I want to show you this this C grill. This is a off of a Farmall C, and of course they enlarged that hole for the muffler, so it's pretty ridiculous. But here is the length difference. Let me get it set around here for you. Maybe that'd be the best way. So right there you can see, even on the back, and it sticks over a little bit here in the front, yet it's the same, be turning this way, on this length. Right there, and right there. So we've got a, again, that hood does not belong on there. It was probably in a damage at another point in its life. So I'm gonna try to put this hood over on it and get it to where the sheet metal lines up right anyway, and looks like it should, and get rid of a horrible dent. So but anyway, pretty excited about these, and I just wanted to take a moment and show you again some of the differences in them, kind of all at the same time, so you know you can kind of look at them and see right in the same spot what they look like. But anyway, hope it's helpful for you, and I'll have another video up of this one, kind of a quick walk around of it and kind of some of the special things and what it came with and all that too. So anyway, thanks for checking out. I'll catch you later.